Did bring up the camera, Gene, game chat. That's the whole thing. You said you had a funny story about the
Yeah,
the
so
camera.
I didn't get to play game chat because I don't give a about Super Mario Jamboree, you know. So I should have. I should have tried the camera out. But here's the thing. One of my friends who happens to be black, the camera had a hard time picking them up.
Oh, I can't. I'm dark too, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
The camera's racist, Gene?
I think we're back in the Connect mode.
Bad power!
Frit, you're scaring me. Every upload, you just keep outdoing yourself. How are you 3D rendered now? Don't ask questions. Just consume content and get excited for next video. Just know all your subscriptions are the reason this is even possible. So let's get me to 80K before April 15th, and I will really wow you. But until then, I'll tell you one thing. Nintendo ain't wowing me. The Switch 2 is the most defended piece of hardware I have ever seen on the planet. It's like Mac users pretending they're on par with a gaming PC. Anyways, Nintendo's greed has no limits, just like Play has no limits, which is why Sony's gonna be raising the prices of PS Plus on you with no added benefits. And that's the exact model Nintendo is pursuing. No added benefits at an extra cost, because why wouldn't they do that? That's good business. It's instant profit. It guarantees you that when you do release things people want, you can charge even more for it. See, Nintendo's not just going to allow you the full benefits of your brand new shiny console if you don't fork over the extra cash to have access to all the bells and whistles that come with a next-gen console. And this is why I'm a PC gamer. Or, I mean, even then, if you play on Xbox, you don't have to put up with this crap either. But Nintendo is egregious. It's why it costs you more to play Skyward Sword in 2025 than it did when the goddamn Wii dropped. That's the quote-unquote variable pricing Bowser was talking about. Well, this variable pricing is also affecting your Switch 2 enhanced editions because they don't really technically exist. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition does not include expansion pass content.
Like buy one, get one free.
What?
Buy one, get one free.
Huh?
Buy one,
Yeah, I get that.
get one free.
Is that like a Spanish word?
No, it's English. The whole thing's English.
Oh, because it seems like you're saying the first part in English and then some kind of made up a falum for something in the second part. I don't understand you.
Isn't that just wonderful? Not only are you now paying more for Breath of the Wild in 2025 just to play it again, because remember, this game was $60 on the Wii U and $60 on the Switch. But now it's $70 if you want to play it at the frame rates and resolutions you deserved 2 console generations ago. It's not enough. You gotta give Nintendo money for some of the most basic features on the fucking planet. And on top of that, the best part is they're not even gonna give you any of the expansions that came with these games. Are you kidding me, Nintendo? Oh my god. I have paid for Game of the Year editions of video games that cost less than they did the year they released and have all the expansions. And here Nintendo doesn't even want to include a single one in your repurchase of this game. So that means if you get the expansions on top of the graphical upgrades, you're well pushing past even $70, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Who in their right mind can defend this?
It's frustrating, I know. We don't want to have to look at a video that says, oh, Nintendo is anti-consumer, they're greedy, they're hateful, they're angry. Of course we don't want to look at those things, so we won't open those videos, we won't listen to that, because it's pretty obvious those people just want to generate hatred. So
You get the hell out!
And believe me, I've actually seen some defenses people online have been saying, well, you know, it's to be expected. What, did you really think they were gonna give it to you? Shut the fuck up, God, you Nintendrones are so unbearable. It's about the principle of it all, and you guys have none. Your answer is really, well, we expect Nintendo to grape us all the time. Why are you surprised? I'm surprised because I don't participate in this type of consumption. That's why. And the fact that you do it is ludicrous. For Nintendrones, it's so normal, they can't possibly imagine other people's reactions. They're like, well, hey, you know, as Nintendo guys, this is what we've been putting up with forever. Why? Well, I don't know. I am going to laugh to death. In a minute, I'll probably die of goddamn cardiac arrest from laughter if the next Switch has Breath of the Wild at $100. Nintendo feels like they can charge you more for this game and sell it to you again. And this game is older than my fucking nephew. Some players have been wondering whether the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition contains paid DLC content from the expansion pass. A reply from a My Nintendo Store customer representative confirms that the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game does not contain expansion pass content. So if you want to play the expansion pass content, you'll have to purchase it separately from the Nintendo eShop. This shouldn't come as a surprise, since nowhere on the game's official website states that the expansion pass content is included with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game. See, you see how all of these journalists, all of these Nintendrones, all of these corporate shills all say the same thing? Well, you shouldn't have expected it. Why? Why shouldn't we have expected it? Why should we be expected instead to pay more? I don't understand the mentality where one has to roll over and just give Nintendo their way. You realize you don't have to do that, right? You realize you don't have to live with such low expectations of this company. And what's the point in telling you? As long as Pokemon is still around and convincing grown-ass adults to play it, people will pay whatever Nintendo asks. And these prices are unreasonable. The way they want to repackage these games to you is even more unreasonable. 60 FPS is monetized. 1080p/4K is now monetized. And then on top of that, they can't even bother to throw you in an expansion. So if you want to play Breath of the Wild all over again, you're nearly paying the equivalent of 2 fully priced games just to do it all over again. It's no wonder Nintendo went after the Switch emulator. They were looking to kill that thing as soon as possible, because once they saw Zelda running past 60 FPS, they thought, we can't let anybody have that for free. It's so much work just to bump the resolution and frame rate up in this ancient ass fucking game. No, but the greed doesn't stop there. It gets worse. You see, Switch 2 enhanced cards are just a scam in general, as we got news today that the physical version of No Sleep for Kaname Dante whatever, some weeaboo game, will not even have an official physical release. It will be released solely as a game key card. That's right, they're gonna sell you the box for the game, but no real game in that box. And this is exactly what I was talking about. They are trying to take physical away from you. Bit by bit, you think, oh no, not my Nintendo. They'll always sell me fucking Mario number 1000 in physical form, but that's not the point. The point is, a good chunk of your console library will no longer actually be physical. You will only have boxes. And remember, what is it that Sungrad Studio said to us in his last video? Nintendo is not selling game key card only exclusive titles. Bullshit. Here's one right now.
Again, no game is being forced to be game keycard exclusive. Nintendo has not had any sort of evidence to indicate that they will be releasing games as game keycard only. That is merely a knee-jerk, childish reaction that people are having on the internet.
Because I've had enough of this news.
This means this game does not actually exist physically for the Switch 2. Which makes me wonder, what the fuck is the purpose in purchasing physical editions? I'll tell you what the purpose is. It's to make the consumer feel like they're the ones in charge. Like, yeah, look at this, I have it in boxed form. And Nintendo's just laughing their way to the bank, knowing they tricked you. I mean, to be fair, if you fall for this shit, you're retarded. There's no polite way of saying it. Switch 2 carts have no actual purpose. Well, I mean, some of them do, but based on what I'm seeing here and before the console has even released, there's already a large amount of games that do not actually exist on the carts. And if they do, it's only a tiny fraction and then the rest must be downloaded, thus rendering these cards completely useless. And this is exactly what they're doing with Street Fighter 6 as well. All digital only, or digital key card. It is kind of cool because now there is one slight benefit to this, and that is that this sort of allows you to resell digital games, technically. But who in their right mind would rather buy a used digital copy over a real physical copy? I guess some would, because what we have here is just slightly a step below full-on digital. It's almost a hybrid of sorts. But most people who are looking to collect games aren't interested in buying a fake physical copy. I don't see these being more valuable in the future. Especially not if, in 10 to 20 years from now, Nintendo shuts down Switch servers in favor of whatever they do next. All these games will be useless. So already that's this game, Street Fighter 6, Bravely Default, all games that don't actually exist on the carts they're being sold on. And this is not a trend that will stop here. Expect at least more than half of the future of the Switch library to be like this. Nintendo has given developers free reign to dictate what you can and can't actually own, which is insane to me. So you may as well kiss the advantage of physical media with Nintendo goodbye. They are slowly trying to phase it out. It's so blatantly obvious when Switch 2 enhanced carts are nothing more than Switch 1 games with a code to the upgrade in them, meaning no actual Switch 2 versions exist. In my personal opinion, that's false marketing. Some would argue, hey, it's your fault. You should look more into this. And, I can't even argue with that. If people are putting down hundreds of dollars before knowing what they're buying, that is their fault. But likewise, that's what Nintendo is counting on, isn't it? They're requiring on dummies thinking the minute they pop in their previous version of a game into their brand new Switch, it's gonna look better and run a lot better. When that is not the case, and they come to find out, hand over $10. Okay. The craziest part to me, though, however, is seeing Tears of the Kingdom, the first $70 Switch 1 title, become an $80 title. And then the original Breath of the Wild go from being a $60 game to a $70 game. And the justification for that is, well, there is no justification. It's just Nintendo being greedy. I think Nintendo may be the only company I have ever seen in my life have their games that are over 8 years old actually go up in price instead of down. And again, this is all the results of what Bowser said. I can't get hold of the fact the man's name is Bowser, but this is all because this company believes in quote unquote variable pricing. If they felt that you weren't paying enough 8 years ago, well, they'll make sure you pay more now because I guess Nintendo just values their games that highly. And they don't really throw you anything interesting to keep you enticed for Zelda. Instead, they're like, hey, well, we have this GPS app for the game. Great, let me just pull out my mobile phone while I'm playing Zelda. That sounds like fun. Are you having fun yet? Nintendo fans, are you loving this or what? Isn't this great? The same experience you had last gen now costs more for no fucking reason. Well, the reason is because you will buy it and you will support it. That is why. But I try not to blame the consumers anywhere near as much as the corporations, because at the end of the day, what Nintendo is doing here will affect the rest of the industry. They are now going to be encouraged to give you less for more money across the board. And only the very, very few developers that care will try their absolute hardest to give you more for your money, but value is quickly lost on consumers who consume Nintendo content like it's crack. So if you were looking to collect Switch 2 games, sorry to break it to you, you're gonna have a much smaller collection than you did last gen. Enjoy it. Anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. Remember, April 15th is my birthday, turning the big 3-0. Let's get to 80K subs, and I will see you next video.
Free Congo sucks ass.